16 walks, a 340 batting average against, but at home he is 2-0 with a 4.96. So one problem he's had, as Joe Madden mentioned in the pregame show, against right-handed hitters are hitting well over 400 against him. Take a look at the defense. In the outfield, Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton, and Matt Joyce. The left side of the infield, Willie Ibar, Reed Brignac, Ben Zobrist, Carlos Penny on the right side, Deano Navarro behind the plate.
And the first pitch of this game is a strike call, a fastball to begin it, right on time at 7:08. Meyer, the center fielder, misses this one, and quickly Sonnenstein is ahead, 0-2. And a little looper, and it's going to be over the head of Brignac. Boy, he did everything he could to time that leap perfectly, just not high enough. And a base hit for Meyer on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, I don't think he could have rebounded over Dwight Howard right there, but he tried. I mean,
yeah, that's exactly right.
He waited, though. He tried to time that. He got up as high as he could and just missed it by about 8 or 10 inches right there as Meyer drops it into left field. Not a real good two-strike pitch there, 0-2. Not a put-away pitch.
So Kansas City with the leadoff man on, and here's the second baseman, Gallaspo. Switch hitter batting left, and the pitch is down, a ball and no strikes. There's a general feeling about Sonnenstein that number one, he would be better served if he made hitters less comfortable up there, and his command inside the strike zone has been an issue. Ground ball short with the runner going. Brignac out at second, and the throw to first in time to get a quick double play. The throw to first, one hopped, and Pena grabbed it for a 6-4-3 double play.
Impressive turn right there by Zobrist, and a nice pick and feed by Brignac. He's been impressive in the short time he's been up here in the big leagues this year. It's a nice pick on a hit-and-run play. Picks it, nice quick feed, good turn getting away from the runner by Zobrist, and a nice pick over there at first base. Well, here's how you get away from a runner coming in on you across the back, so you eliminate getting hurt. Stay back of the bag, use that as your shield, and make Meyer go across, and he did.
Billy Butler takes it inside, and you know that double play is, and we talked about it the other day, in the absence of Bartlett and Iwamura, there's a certain positive attribute to stability up the middle, and to have Brignac and Zobrist work together as much as possible, I think that's a good thing.
Well, that's why, you know, the old axiom for 120 years in baseball is build from up the middle defense. Shortstop, second base, center field. That's where you want to stay strong, and of course behind the plate, because that's where most of your plays are, especially on the infield. And those two guys need to work as a tandem. That was picture perfect right there between Zobrist and Brignac.
And we saw Brignac, a breaking ball there to Butler, and it's 2-2. We saw Brignac make some very good plays in the series against Minnesota, and I think as a young player, I think it's really good to have him settle in. As Zobrist can play anywhere, but he's done a nice job at second base. Swing and a miss. Butler's out on strikes. Fastball got him, and we'll go into the bottom half of the first. No score. Rays coming in to hit. first. Their lineup finds B.J. Upton back in the leadoff spot. Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria to follow. Down the middle, Carlos Pena, Willie Ibar, and Ben Zobrist. Matt Joyce hits 7th tonight ahead of Deanna Navarro. Reed Brignac is the shortstop, batting 9th.
Kyle Davies, the right-hander on the mound. He's had success on the road, trouble at home. 509 earned run average overall.
And the pitch to B.J. Upton is in there. That's a strike. Upton 204 right now. Inside, 1-1. Up and in a bit. Fastball. 2-1. Well, you mentioned Davies 2-4 with an earned run average over 5. BJ fouls that one to square the count. It's a 2-2 count now. Tonight's game simulcast in Spanish. You can access this audio feature by selecting the built-in SAP option on your television. But the home and road breakout is amazing for him.
It really is.
On the road, his earned run average is 216, and at home, 7.29.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. You feel comfortable at home. Kyle Davies pitched great on the road. He had trouble at home in his last start against the Tigers.
It just popped up. It's a foul ball and will carry out a play.
And Miguel Olivo never saw it. Catcher was looking for help. There's the home and road numbers you're talking about, Dwayne. 7.29 earned run average at home with a 2-3 record. And 4 starts on the road, 2.16. That is dramatically different.
Yeah, these two pitchers have some unbelievable numbers in terms of out of the ordinary. Those that we just saw there as they relate to Davies, and you referenced earlier Sonnenstein and what right-handed hitters are hitting against him versus left-handed hitters.
Goodness, well over 400 from the right side, and then he did strike out Billy Butler with a nice 91 fastball to end the first. And I think pitching inside is going to be really important for him against the righties to get the outside corner.
And there's ball 4. So Upton draws the walk. And this is an issue for Davies from time to time. Command, and his walk total is a little higher than they would like.
Yeah, Davies gives up about a hit per inning pitch this year, 58 1/3 innings overall, and he's given up 58 hits along with 25 walks coming in, and now 26 walks with the walk to B.J. Upton.
Upton the runner at first, drawing the walk.
He threw his whole arsenal at B.J. You saw a curveball, 4-seam fastball, 2-seam, and a changeup. You saw everything.
Crawford takes a fastball in. 1 ball, no strikes. Tries this one, stays away.
Changeup right there, 84 miles an hour. The fastball's topped out so far at 94. Curveball in the 70s. The changeup at 84. It's good for all the hitters because they're kind of getting a read. I mean, starting with BJ, seeing 6 or 7 pitches, and now Carl Crawford, and the rest of the lineup gets a read on what Davies has.
And Crawford takes a fastball for a strike. First strike in this at bat, 2-1.
Nothing wrong with that take either, 2-0. You don't have to automatically swing. Crawford getting a read on his fastball after seeing the changeup.
And the pitch is down, 3-1. And Upton, prior to that pitch, just to perhaps draw a little attention over there, was digging in with his lead, and
he sure was.
Almost as he was trying to dig a hole there for his starter spot. There he goes. The pitch is down for ball 4.
Kansas City Royals defensively, where overall they're 11th in the league as callers fielding percentage at .983. David DeJesus in left, Mitch Meyer in center, Jose Guillen in right, Mark Teahan and Tony Pena on the left side of the infield, Callaspo and Billy Butler on the right side, Miguel Olivo behind the plate. Strong throwing arm catcher, by the way, the game calling for Kyle Davies. And so far he's doing a lot of game calling because he's thrown every pitch at the first two hitters.
It's an interesting combination in regard to the Rays running game. Olivo and Davies. Davies has not been particularly successful at stopping the running game in his career. And Olivo, as you mentioned, has a good arm. Not always as accurate as he would like, but a strong arm. The pitch to Longoria is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Of course, the Rays come in here with 82 steals. They've been caught just 12 times. Couple of walks to start the bottom of the first.
That first pitch to Longoria was a cutter, so we've seen just about everything that Davies throws to the first 3 hitters here.
And he throws a strike, a fastball there. It's 1-1. Rays have won 12 of the last 15 games they played against Kansas City here at Tropicana Field. Now they're really hoping to take advantage of this little low spot the Royals have hit recently after a good start by Kansas City. A little popper out to second base. That's going to be caught by Callaspo. That's the first out. And the hitter will be Carlos Pena. Not a lot of at-bats for the Rays in their lineup against Davies, but Pena is 2 for 2 lifetime. That's about it. I think Crawford had 3 at-bats against him. Had gone 1 for 3. I think 3 is about the most at-bats any of the Rays hitters have managed against Davies. Breaking ball to start Pena's down and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's always interesting to me, Dwayne, to watch the defensive alignment with the different clubs that come in, because they have the shift on Pena where you see the shortstop, Tony Pena, is just about up the middle. And the third baseman, Mark Teahan, is off the back, but trying to stay close enough and just in case there's a double steal with Upton and Crawford on the bases.
Fouled back. Fastball, and Pena liked that pitch. Trey Hillman, the manager of the Kansas City Royals, makes his home in one of our favorite towns in USA, and that would be Liberty Hill, Texas.
Yeah, and he had his infielders out this offseason, and he has kind of his own field of dreams, and they had a cookout and got to know some of the players, the new players, and they went over some defensive things at his house.
2-1.
A ranch that he has.
He's a guy who
interesting guy.
he can jump on that tractor and build that infield.
I think he did
at his place.
I think he told me he did.
Yep.
He's a kick. He spent several years in Japan and brought a lot of his teachings and methods and things that he learned over there. First thing he told me last spring was, I want to teach these guys to play catch. I want these guys to catch the ball.
Back to second, and Upton is in there.
Sounds pretty basic, but teams don't take infield anymore as a group. They take their fungos and get their ground balls, but they don't take infield as a group, which I still think's very important. I'm a little bit old school there, but I think especially if you're down in defense, that you need to do it as a group, especially if you have a lot of young players on your club.
2-1. And that pitch is a strike on the inner part of the plate. Why do you think that disappeared, Kevin?
I think all offense. We're all about offense today. And, you know, when I was managing still in the mid-'90s, we were taking infield every day. And, you know, now the times are set for the visiting team to hit up until just enough for the grounds crew to get the field ready. It used to be, you know, you get off the field at 6:15, 6:20, you take your 10-minute infield, and the visiting team would take it, and then 25 minutes to get the field ready for the grounds crew. Now, I mean, it's batting practice, you know, 30 minutes before the game. And managers will tell me, well, we come out at 3 o'clock. It's not the same thing when there's nobody in the stands. It's like instruction league. I always loved it because you're taking infield with your team in front of the fans as they're already in the ballpark at about 6:20, 6:25, and the intensity is up. You know, you show off your arm if you're a catcher, or, you know, you used to grade the outfielders. You see, oh boy, we don't want to run on that guy. You used to show it off, and everybody's just gotten away from it. Some teams do. Dave Tremblay will do it in Baltimore sometimes. Trey Hillman will do it sometimes, but I was told.
3-2, and Pena's out on strikes. He got him with a high changeup. That's the second out.
That was a good pitch, a changeup by Davies right there, and that was set up by the fastball, the two-seamer in at 92, and then he did the fading 84 changeup going away. Take the Washington Nationals, the worst team in baseball. I was told that they never take infield. Here's a team with a bunch of young guys. They don't hit the cutoff man. They make a lot of mistakes. It's a team that we're going to see in interleague play a week from Saturday, a week from Friday, actually. You know, and today they fire their pitching coach, and all of a sudden we don't do that. Somebody's going to take a hit. It's going to be the manager. It's going to be the coaches, because you got to go out there and teach.
Well, and here's the other side of that. If you fire your pitching coach, and we're not there every day to comment on that with much authority, but you know, if you don't play defense, I don't know how you can evaluate your pitching coach or your pitching staff if you don't have defense. Willie Ibar now. He takes a fastball for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, when Dave Tremblay took over Baltimore for Sammy Perlazzo, he said the last time the catchers threw to bases was in spring training. And that was in the middle of the year when that change was made. And I mean, I'm not knocking Sammy Perlazzo, but that's what he told me. That's what Dave, I said, you got to be kidding me.
Way high with that fastball. 2-0.
And I've always found, too, if you give the players a game plan, they're going to be fine with it. I hear managers say, well, the players get tired. You know, they wind down and they have to come back out for it. So what? That's what you want. Don't you want to be ready to play in the first inning? What do you want them to wake up in the second inning? I'm really strong on this, obviously. Yeah. You can tell my passion on it. I'm a big believer. Not every single day with all your regulars and all your starters that play 50 games in a row, but you know, you should do it at least once every series, especially on new fields that you haven't seen.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1 to Willie Ibar. The Rays put the first 2 men on. They're still there now with 2 outs. 2-1 the count to Ibar.
And we talked about Zobrist and Ibar in the open, and both guys do one thing. They work the count pretty well, too. They're about 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
It's a strike on the inside edge. So Davies, after throwing a lot of pitches to Upton and walking him and then walking Crawford, has settled in here. Made a nice pitch on Longoria to pop him up. Pitch in, and then he got Pena on that 3-2 changeup. 2-2 now to Ibar. He fights it off and fouls it. That ball cutting in on Ibar.
Like a cutter there. He's thrown a couple of those. 85 miles an hour to 88. Here's an 88 cutter right here. Just enough late movement. Even though it's a ball, Willie's not sure. He's got to fight it off to get another pitch. Don't take anything for granted.
A 2-2 count to Ibar. Fought off that last pitch and fouled it. And now full count.
He doubled up on it, Dwayne. That was another cutter right there. See if he goes back to the changeup that he threw to Pena. With a 3-2 count right here.
Two men on, 2 men out, 3-2 the count to Ibar, and he steps back. Now we're set. And a swing and a foul tip strikeout into the mid of Olivo to retire the side. He did come with the change, and the Rays lead 2, no score through 1.
Kansas City and Tampa Bay scoreless. Couple of injury updates for you. Both Jason Bartlett and Pat Burrell in the dugout during the course of tonight's game. And for Bartlett, still no timetable for his return as he tries to nurse that sprained left ankle back to health. For Pat Burrell, guys, they are going to try and get him to hit on a tee, and then after that take live batting practice this week with the thought that if all goes well with that strained neck, he could see game action as early as next week, whether that's up here at the big league team or minor league rehab. We'll find out. But right now, the good news is Pat Burrell should start swinging the bat during the course of the next couple of days. Back to you.
Well, that's good news. A step in the right direction for the Rays, particularly their offense. And getting him healthy, because that's an important bat for the Rays. You know, they've been averaging 5.5 runs a game. And it's interesting, if you break their record down, we talked about the importance of scoring 5 runs a game at least. And when you look at their record of wins and losses when they score 5 or more and when they score 5 or less, and it's a stark contrast. 2-2 the count now here to Mike Jacobs, who leads it off. Jacobs, the DH, chops one out to second, and Zobrist takes care of that, and so that is out number 1. In fact, the Rays, they score 5 or more, they're 22-6, and if they score fewer than 5 runs, they're 3-22.
Well, that tells you a lot right there. That, you know, that's how tough the American League is, and especially the American League East, who the team's going to see here this weekend in New York once again. But first things first.
And Jose Guillen takes the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Guillen hits one a long way to deep left field. Crawford back, and that one will get out of here. Guillen hits his 5th home run, and that's going to give Kansas City a 1-0 lead. Guillen lines it into the stands. That's the first run of the night.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing, too. I mean, right-handers know what the numbers are. That's a breaking ball that backed up on him right there. And Guillen launches it. Right-handers know what the count is and the numbers are. I mean, they know that if, hey, they got all of the plate, there's no intimidation inside, that, hey, there's no fear. There's a real comfort level there.
Tian takes the pitch high. Mark Tian with the count 1-1. You just cannot allow hitters to be that comfortable, especially if you're making too many mistakes inside the strike zone. I mean, that's a lethal combination.
And nobody's talking about hitting anybody. It's just changing the eyesight and making them move their feet a little bit, especially from the right side of the plate.
Ground ball. Zobrist at second handles this one. So the two left-handed hitters hit ground balls, and the right-handed hitter hits one out. Makes it 1-0. 2 outs, bases empty here in the second. David DeJesus will be the hitter, the left fielder. And you're right about making him uncomfortable. We're not talking about hitting guys.
Not at all. Nope.
1-0. There's the breakout. 7 home runs. He's given up 8 home runs, 7 by right-handed hitters. And they're hitting .436 against him.
You're hitting 173 points higher from the right side than the left side.
2-0. You know, we talked about these two clubs, where they are now, and you know, there's a lot of baseball to be played. Kansas City still thinks that they have a club that's much improved over last year, especially with the great September they had and some of the additions. And the Rays, of course, felt at the beginning of this season, I think they still feel that they have a very good club and should be in the race in the East. Foul ball back. But you know, coming into this series, we talked about how important it is to score at least 5 runs a game. The Rays rotation, their earned run average is 5. So yeah, they've got to do something to get that down. A little stroke base hit the other way. You know, and some people say, well, you know, the bullpen hasn't been that good. I'll tell you though, the bullpen has the 4th best earned run average in the American League. And overall, you know, with a couple exceptions, but overall the bullpen has been pretty good if it's 4th in the league.
3.83 versus last year 3.55. I mean, last year it was 3rd in the American League. This year it's 4th. You're absolutely right. And even save percentage is 4th in the American League, 70%.
And handling the bullpen the way it has to be handled is a challenge for both the guys in the bullpen and for Joe Madden and Jim Hickey. There's a lot of skill. Well, there's a start by DeJesus, who almost found himself too far off first as Olivo missed that first pitch. It's not easy trying to match up all the time, and that's what Madden and Hickey are trying to do. And it's not easy to be on the other side of that when you're the guy being called upon to match up, because you're never sure when or where. But you just have to be ready all the time.
Well, I asked Joe Nelson exactly that the other day, and he said, hey, Joe said everybody be ready depending on matchups and what the 9th inning looks like when we have a lead. It could be anybody down there. It could be Joe sometimes. It could be Isringhausen. It could be, you've seen Joe now close out a couple of games. It could be anybody.
1-1. And a chopper headed toward the middle, backhanded by Zobrist, and he one-hops it to first. It skips past Pena. Somebody's got to cover the plate. Sonnenstein and Ibar come down now to cover the plate as Navarro had to chase the ball toward the Rays dugout. DeJesus winds up at 3rd, and Olivo winds up at 2nd. As Pena could not scoop the one-hop throw into first. Olivo's going to get a base hit out of that. And there has to be an error.
Yeah. Ben makes a nice play to get to it. He just short hops Carlos Pena. Normally you're so used to seeing Carlos pick that. It just went off the edge of his glove. But it should be a base hit and error. Exactly right.
The error charged to Zobrist on the throw. Now the pitch to Tony Pena Jr. is a first pitch strike. So it's an infield hit for Olivo, with DeJesus going to 3rd and Olivo to 2nd on the error. So a big hitter all of a sudden because of the error in this 2-out run scoring threat materializing. Breaking ball is too high, and the count is 1-1. Pena just reinstated from the disabled list. He missed almost a month of games with a fractured bone in his left hand. And he pushes the bunt. Picked up by Sonnenstein, and the throw to first in time, so he tried to bunt the runner home. That retires the side. A run on the home run by Guillen. 3 hits, an error, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Kansas City. Home run by Jose Guillen, the 5th of the year for Guillen. Here in the Rays half of the second, Ben Zobrist stepping in to lead off, then Matt Joyce and Deoner Navarro. Pitch is too low. 1-0. Well, I'll tell you, you look at this Rays lineup in terms of potential pop. And it's there. I mean, up and down this lineup, 1-1. They're 3rd in the league in home runs. And, you know, the Pat Burrell is on the DL right now. And, of course, Bartlett has turned into something of a home run hitter as the shortstop. And
that's right.
That's great with those guys out of the lineup. And, by the way, Bartlett is 2nd in the voting in shortstops now. And, you know, it hasn't helped him that he's been injured, but his numbers are clearly the best going.
Well, no doubt Bartlett, Longoria, and Carl Crawford, to me, at least those 3 should be on the All-Star team.
Zobrist fouls it back. But, you know, you look at this lineup, and at any given pitch, Upton can go deep. Crawford has shown that he can. Longoria, of course. Pena, Ibar, Zobrist, Joyce. I mean, right up and down this lineup. Potential long ball pop.
I could make a case for Bent with the way the All-Star game is constructed today. I could make a case for bringing a guy like Zobrist if I'm the manager, because he can play everywhere.
Yep.
We see, I mean, last year in New York, that game went extra innings.
The high pop. That's going to be out of play. Well, in some cases, they would have needed him to pitch.
That's right. That's right. Wasn't Kazmir the last guy standing last year
in the
American League? And
there was some concern about overusing him.
I was sitting in the American League dugout, and I know Eric Karros, who you worked with on Saturday, was in the National League dugout, and he had heard that David Wright was going to get ready to pitch.
3-2 comes back and catches the plate. So Zobrist is the third strikeout. He's used that off-speed pitch well. Fans, remember the $250,000 Mustang Money tickets are now on sale. Register your non-winning tickets through June 11th for a second chance to win. Second chance prizes include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an Ultimate Florida Baseball Weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Visit FLALottery.com for details. Matt Joyce takes the big cut and fouls it. Strike one.
Well, it's pretty apparent the Kansas City game plan is not a lot of first pitch fastballs to the Rays offense because of that power.
Pitch is in. It's 1-1.
Upton saw a curveball to start the game. Ben Zobrist saw a curveball and a changeup. First two pitches in his sequence.
So there's foul back. 1-2. He went to 3-2 to Pena and Ibar in the first. Struck them both out on a changeup.
Joyce saw a curveball, his first pitch. I think the advanced scout was here over the weekend.
There's a liner into right field and a base hit. So Matt Joyce picks up the first Rays hit, a one-out single in the second inning.
Boy, when he squares it up, the sound is just that deep sound that Joe Madden likes. There's a fastball in, and he squares it up nicely. Good quick swing. Not a bad pitch. I mean, that's what he's been doing. Change-ups away, fastballs in off the inside corner, and Matt Joyce is all over it.
You know, I don't know what's going to happen with Matt Joyce when everybody gets healthy, but you really like what you see out of him, and like every player, you're probably going to get mixed reports from time to time, depending on who you talk with. But all I know is that Al Kaline, you don't get much better than that. This pitch blocked, but Al Kaline loved him and his ability. He loved his makeup and he loved his physical ability. And that's a pretty high praise and pretty good recommendation right there.
I mean, a Tiger right fielder Hall of Famer to say that about Matt Joyce, that says enough for me. That's good enough evaluation. I don't think I have to go anywhere else.
I mean, wow. And he's a local kid. He's happy to be here, and the Rays are happy to have him. It really, if it works out, it could be really a pleasant development. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, the thing about that is Edwin Jackson's off to a nice start for the Tigers, and now a lot of people, and when they call me or call the radio show or whatever, oh boy, I would bet the Rays wish they had him. I said, well, they made that trade for a reason. Let's not forget about Matt Joyce. He had 25 home runs last year between the minor leagues, and 12 of those were in the big leagues.
There's a high fly ball to right off the bat of Navarro. Ian is there to make the catch. That'll be the second out. You're right. Here's the other thing. Edwin has gone over there, and God bless him. I mean, you want these players to do well.
Right.
And he's got a great arm. And I'm sure the Rays front office and Joe Madden and the coaching staff, they wanted him to do well. And so you celebrate that. It's good. He's doing well. And you know what? I think long-term Joyce has a chance to do well here. The other thing is, trades are not made to be evaluated within a period of 60 days into the regular season.
Exactly. Thank you.
There's a longer look at every deal. So I think you have to keep that in mind. Pitch is low to Reed Brindyak. 1 ball and no strikes. And I tell you, people who know Edwin are happy about that. He's a good young man, and you love to see him do well, except against your club.
That's exactly right.
And you especially want to see him do well against Boston and New York and everybody in the East. This one is lifted into short left field. DeJesus is there. He makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. Man left, and at the end of 2, it's 1-0 Kansas City. It's a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club. It offers extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club features an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to ensure your fun. Mitch Meyer takes a strike. Third inning is underway. He's the top of the order for Kansas City. Breaking ball drops in. 0-2. Up the right side, foul. That off a breaking ball.
And that was where I like to see Andy change the eyesight, because in the first inning he had 3 pitches down just like that, and Mitch Meyer hit the third pitch in the left center for a base hit. This time the same thing, 3 pitches down, his eyesight is down. There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Fastball was up and in just a little bit.
They give him a little different look.
Back with the breaking ball, and he fouls that one.
You got to change eyesight. You got to use all, the 4 sections of the quadrant of the plate. Not too many up and aways do you use, but up and in, down and away. Those 3 spots. Down and away is your home.
Ground ball chopped towards short. Long throw after a good pickup, and Brignac gets him. Brignac to Pena, and a nice little play by the young shortstop to record the first out in the third.
That's a strong arm by Brignac and a nice release. Now let's take a look. I mean, the up and in pitch creates this. Not a great swing on down and away. More of just a contact pitch. A little bit off the end of the bat right there. Good speed from Meyer, but a great play by Reed Brignac. Pushes off the back leg and throws a strike over there to Pena by a half step. But that's what up and in does. You don't have quite. You're not diving. You're not getting through the low pitch quite as much if you change the eyesight.
Want to know the count to Callaspo? 2 balls, no strikes.
One is your home. Down and away, that's your home, but you can't go home if you don't get out of the house once in a while and change the eyesight, mix it up. Otherwise, they're going to come and take that spot away from you, these hitters.
Yeah, and if you stay in the house too long, they kick you out of it.
That's right. You're darn right. Too much of a comfort level.
There's a strike. It's 3-1. Callaspo hitting second and playing second base. Now back full. Sonnenschein can get a little action on his fastball too. He has some nice movement. Tapped to second. Zobrist up with it, and the toss over there. 2 up and 2 down.
Couple of good sequences, because to Callaspo, he threw a couple balls in with that cutting action you're talking about, and then he went away, and Callaspo didn't have a very good swing and rolls it over to the right side. That's good sequencing right there. I think Jim Hickey would probably say that right now. That's what he's talking about. Coaches, that's what we all talk about. Hey, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the way you do it.
Well, it's true, though.
Billy Butler.
Hey, you want him to do well. I mean, you pull for him. You hate to see a guy go through what he's gone through, especially facing the right-hand hitters. Because he does have good command and good movement on all of his pitches.
Up with the pitch, and behind in the count to Butler, 2-0.
You don't have to have Nolan Ryan's fastball to pitch inside.
And he drops that breaking pitch over. A 2-0 curve for a strike. High fly ball, right center field. Upton going back there for it, makes the catch as he runs under it to put it away. And it's a 1-2-3 third. 2.5. 1-0 Kansas City.
1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the third in favor of the Kansas City Royals. We have the athletic directors for both Pinellas County and Nick Grasso and Lannis Robinson out of Hillsborough County, the athletic director. We'll start with Lannis. Tell us about this All-Star game that's coming up here Sunday. While the Rays are out of town, we've got a lot of good talent that's going to be playing at Tropicana Field.
Absolutely. We're very excited for the opportunity to have some of our talent come out here and be able to play on this field. Hopefully do a little bit of that when they get the opportunity. But it's a great partnership that we have with Pinellas County and with the Rays, and we look forward to it every year.
Now, we just saw B.J. Upton lead off with a base hit. A lot of this talent that we'll see Sunday, this is the third year of the event, eventually ends up getting drafted, right?
Yeah, we've had some pretty good talent that's come through. Hillsboro's done a great job with the talent that they've had come through as well. So we're very fortunate in this area, and we thank the Rays for giving us this opportunity to showcase our talent once again.
When you guys see like Denard Span of the Twins and Matt Joyce coming through, a lot of pride out of Hillsborough County.
Absolutely. I was up there telling Nick, I said, hey, he's from Tampa. That's one of ours. So that's great. We just enjoy watching them play, and especially our kids, because, it's a big stage for them to be able to come out here. And then actually some of them may wind up getting drafted 2 days later. So it's great.
B.J. Upton stealing second base. Yeah, guys, that's the other thing is the game is Sunday. The draft's just a couple of days after that. It is $5 for students, $10 for adults. It's a 2009 high school all-star game. Who's going to win?
Pinellas County.
Pinellas County, says Nick, and I'm sure you think Hillsborough, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take them again.
All right, guys, it's going to be a big event coming up Sunday right here at Tropicana Field, so it should be great for a lot of people to attend and see the future talent that could end up here in a Major League uniform someday, guys.
Yeah, thank you. It should be a great event. It's a lot of fun, and number one, for those young players, it's always, as you know, Kevin, a real treat to be able to play on a Major League field. That's what they're looking forward to.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, it was the same thing for the kids there at Dodger Stadium. You play in your hometown, in front of your family and friends. It's a big deal. And scouts. That's the big thing. Scouts.
Yeah. Crawford pops it foul. That's going to be out of play. So the count goes to 2-2. B.J. at second. He's singled to start this inning and then swiped second base. His 16th steal. And here's Crawford now with a 2-2 count. We've talked all season about Crawford grinding out at bats and how good he has been with 2 strikes. He has more hits than anybody with 2 strikes in the count. 2-2 right now.
Well, you really learn to hit the more pitches you see. If you're up there as a first ball, fastball hitter, and you have 4 at bats and you see 5 or 6 pitches, you really don't learn to hit the other stuff.
Carl is third in the league with 69 hits. Almost half of those, not quite, but almost half of those have come with 2 strikes. It's a ground ball to short. Pena's going to go to third and out there. Pena to Tian to get Upton. Upton thought the ball might be hit softly enough to advance, but he's cut down.
Normally not a good base running play, but with Carl Crawford, it's not a terrible play. Pena does throw a strike to get B.J. rather easily, but now you've got Crawford at first base, and you know what? He can steal second, as we know, but it also, by Longoria's admission, with him at first, he does get better pitches to hit. So it's a decent gamble by B.J., and I'm sure that's why B.J. did that. It hits him in the back. It's first and third. It didn't work out, but that's the way the Rays play their offense, especially with Upton and Crawford.
So here's Longoria. Crawford's going on the first pitch, a pitch out, and they're still not going to get him. He got a great jump on the pitch out. That's his 31st stolen base.
Yeah, you can guess right as far as the manager calling a pitch out, but then you got to execute. It is a great jump. Pitch out was good, but Olivo took too much time too and throws a high. Watch him take his time. You got to transfer quick and let it fly, and he caught it with his glove hand. He didn't have his bare hand up there for a quick transfer. You got to catch it with 2 hands, transfer the bare hand before your feet plant, and Olivo didn't do that.
Longoria swings through that one.
It's almost like a middle infielder turning a double play. It can't even touch the glove, basically. It gets into your bare hand immediately. And when you have your bare hand behind your glove hand as a catcher throwing the ball down to second, your transfer's too late. That's where you lose the time to get a runner like Crawford. Your arm can't make it up.
Pickoff play at second. Carl back in.
And that's also why BJ did that. Exactly what I said. I mean, that's why he took that gamble to go to third, knowing that Crawford's got a pretty darn good chance of stealing second base. Put pressure on the opposition.
Well, you're forcing the opposition to make a good play, and if they make it, okay, they make it.
You bet.
There goes Crawford. Now the throw to third, and he is out. Crawford is caught stealing. So that's the second caught stealing of the year. The first time a catcher has thrown him out this year on an attempted steal of third.
Yeah, that's pretty good release this time by Olivo. He got plenty of arm on that one. Better transfer into the bare hand. And, of course, a 90-foot throw, and he threw a strike. Tehan makes the tag.
2-2 now to Longoria. Fouled off to the right of the screen. In fact, the Rays, with a couple guys in that the two-strike hit department, have been very good. Crawford tops with 33 and Longoria with 30. The only other guy with as many as 30 is Jacoby Ellsbury.
Who's that National League guy in there?
Yeah, really. 3-2 now. Rays will be headed out to Colorado this year.
That's right. They're going to see Todd Helton in the Rockies, and their new manager, Jim Tracy. Hurdle let go the other day.
3-2, and it's line foul. That's out of play. Base is empty now with 2 outs. Rays with a couple steals and a caught stealing here in the inning. Base is empty. 2 gone. And Longoria is out on strikes out in front. That retires the side. Through 3, 1-0 Kansas City. Under our wing. Of all the teams in the American League, which AL opponent do the Rays have the best record against? Mike Jacobs leads off for Kansas City. Pitch is a strike. Jacobs, Guillen, and Tien due up in the inning. One and one. This is the first of 10 games to be played between these two clubs this year. 7 of the 10 will be played here at Tropicana Field. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He wanted more power, the Royals did, so they traded for Mike Jacobs, and he does have 9 home runs and 25 RBIs.
2-2.
Did not miss by much. Charlie Relaford behind the plate. On the corner.
Little tap back to the hill. And the toss to first in time. You know, it's interesting where that pitch was to Jacobs. And I think it's pretty standard of umpires in that slot. They're not always going to call that pitch away from them like that. You know, they get such a great look at the pitch in, but away, you know, some of them, it's interesting how they call that. There's a strike. You know, in some cases, I think it really reflects. Boy, there's a shot back into center field. Upton will have to go back near the track and make the catch. You know, umpires just don't get as good a look at that pitch out there, and it just might reflect their own. I don't know if you want to call it a bias as to whether they like to call a strike or not, but you know, they're a little ambivalent about that pitch out there. And I think if they're a strike caller, they're going to call it a strike, and if they say no, I'm going to make sure you throw it over the plate, they'll call it a ball.
Well, here's the slot you're talking about. His eyesight's going to be right over the inside corner. It's in between the catcher and the hitter. So with a left-handed hitter, you see Charlie Relaford. His head is between Navarro and Mark Tien right there.
One up the middle, one hop, grabbed by Brignac. His throw to first in time, and it's a 1-2-3-4. We go to the bottom of the inning. 1-0 Kansas City. Time for our answer to the Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Which AL opponent do the Rays have the best record against all time? Aflac! That would be this Kansas City club, 47-41. Rays were 5-3 last year. They went 3-1 here and 2-2 against them out in Kansas City. Carlos Pena leads off the bottom of the 4th. Strike 1. Breaking ball to start Carlos. Pena worked the count out 3-2 in the first inning and then struck out on a changeup.
That's been Kyle Davies' game plan tonight. Start him off with breaking balls and pitch backwards and go to a fastball when you get ahead.
0-2. He has 4 strikeouts, and I think they've all been on changeups.
Yep. 3 and 2 changeups a couple times. One to Pena, one to Ibar.
One ball, 2 strikes.
That's where you pitch inside right there. 2 curveballs and 88 off the inside corner to try to set up the off speed. Now he can double up in there. Carlos is smart enough to mix it up and look for it too. And he did try to double up.
2-2. We mentioned that Kansas City finished strong in September. Had 18 wins in September, and Davies was 4-1 in 5 September starts. A 227 earned run average. Gotten off to a 2-4 start this year through his first 10 appearances.
Now we're 3-2. Now he threw 3 fastballs in a row. It's exactly what he did. He got ahead with the curveballs and then 3 fastballs in a row. Let's see if he goes change up away like he did.
That's exactly how he got him in the first. And a wave and a miss. He came back with a 3-2 breaking ball. That's 5 strikeouts for Davies. The first out here in the 4th inning. If you're traveling and can't watch the Rays, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.TV, the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. Catch those games you missed on demand. For more details, visit RaysBaseball.com, where baseball is always on. Willie Ibar takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-2. A couple fastballs in this at bat.
Yeah, Davies is mixing it up pretty well. He's keeping the hitters guessing and off balance. And then doing that, moving the feet. That's what I'm talking about, pitching inside. And just move the feet, change the eyesight. Yeah, he's shown that he will double up in there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a breaking ball going. Count holds at 2-2.
That was the same changeup Willie struck out on in his first at bat in the first inning. 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Stayed with that one.
He fights this one off. When moving in on him. Full count.
I don't think we've seen a 3-2 count where he's thrown a fastball, but he might surprise you here.
And this pitch is fouled off. He threw the changeup.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just looking. As we mentioned, he has 5 strikeouts. They've all come on 3-2 pitches. By my count, he's got 4 strikeouts on changeups and 1 on the curveball.
Yeah, he likes to throw it just like he did there, 3-2. Or he'll drop a curveball on you also. Here comes the curveball.
And he walks it. So the Rays get a base runner with 1 out.
Take a look at how you attack Willie Ibar in this sequence. 4-seam fastball away. That had a little movement away, but got the calls on both of them. Then he comes in with a fastball and a curve. All the way, and then a fastball in. Back with a changeup right here. Down. Went 3-2. Ends up throwing a curveball.
Now he starts Zobrist with a changeup that came back. Caught the plate, started in and caught the plate. That's a strike. So the changeup and the curve have been good pitches for him tonight. He's used the fastball really to keep him honest. There's a drive. High, deep to right, and gone. Fastball, and Zobrist hit it out. The Rays lead 2-1. That fastball cost him the lead. That time Zobrist made an honest man of Davis.
Well, there's no question of the game plan. They're respecting the ability of the Rays to hit the fastball. They got very few of them to hit. This ball was called inside. It was pitched inside. Zobrist was looking inside and hit it out.
The 9th home run for Zobrist. The 9th home run given up by Davies. Here's Matt Joyce. The pitch is a strike. Well, the two guys we talked about, versatility and depth, A to Z, Ibar and Zobrist. Ibar walks. Zobrist hits the home run. There's another strike to Joyce. 0-2.
And one of the things we talked about that really Ibar will work the count pretty well. 1-to-1 basically strikeout to walk ratio. Same thing for Ben Zobrist. Either guy is dramatically bad the other way, meaning they will be patient. Ben was very patient. Ibar was too. He worked the walk, and Ben looking for a ball in, got it, and turned on it. That's what you got to do when a guy's mixing it up like that. Just pick one out until you get to 2 strikes. And if you get it, you got to square it up, and Ben Zobrist did.
So Ben Zobrist gives the Rays a 2-1 lead. 28 runs batted in. Third on the team in runs batted in. Just big hits. Joyce out in front of the changeup as Davies goes right back to that pitch, and with it picks up strikeout number 6.
Well, Ben, I mentioned in his last at bat, I mean, why not think about him if you're the All-Star manager? Joe Madden, I don't know if you can pick your own guys. What's the rule on that? Can you pick your own guys? Well, I hope you can.
Yeah, to
I'd
a
have
point.
to look that up.
Yeah, to a point, you can start picking a couple of guys, but and here's Navarro hitting a high fly ball back to center. Meyer is there, not yet to the track, and makes the catch, retiring the side. But the Rays come up with 2 on one swing of the bat as Ben Zobrist hits an 0-1 fastball out through 4. 2-1 Tampa Bay. .com and enter the tobacco-free Florida Rays Junior announcer promotion throughout the month of June. You can win Rays tickets and have your child served as the Rays Junior Stadium announcer during a home game. Visit RaysBaseball.com for details. We go to the fifth. The Rays lead 2-1. David DeJesus leads off. Sonnenstein's first pitch is a strike. The Rays lead by virtue of the home run by Ben Zobrist. Kevin, I think you're right. I think that's a thinking outside the box selection for the All-Star team there. Ben Zobrist played everywhere. He's done about everything except pitch and catch, and he's getting key hits and home runs, and Madden could pick him.
Well, if the game counts, as they've been saying for the last several years, meaning home field advantage for the World Series by who wins the All-Star game, then why not? Why not have a great utility guy that can play a variety of positions? There's no ties. They don't want ties in these games anymore.
See, we're really going to put the pressure on Joe now, Kevin. We're putting the pressure on him.
I'm sure he'd be glad to take Ben Zobrist, but the problem is with the way the rules are, you have to make sure every team is represented.
Ground ball right side. Sonnenstein busting over to cover, and Pena tosses him the ball. One away. Well, you figure the Rays have Longoria. He's leading all the American League players in votes right now, and I just think that's great. I mean, obviously, we're here with this club and follow the Rays, but you know, this is not Los Angeles. It's not Chicago. It's not New York. And there are a lot of players who get a lot of votes out of those big markets. But to have Longoria leading the voting right now, I think says a lot about baseball fans across the country.
Well, I
take my hat off to him if I had one on. I don't very often. But I really salute the fans for that. I think that's really encouraging to see Longoria, the top vote getter in the American League. That's really great.
Well, there's great recognition from number one what the Rays did last year, and the next year you do reap the benefits. People start recognizing, they start talking about the young talent. You can't win the division and it be a fluke. It just doesn't happen. It's impossible. It's a little tougher start this year, but 6 games is very doable. 6 games out of first place is very, very doable, especially with the injuries the Rays have had so far this year.
The 1-2s hit high and deep to left by Olivo, and that one is going to get out of here. Oh my, breaking ball. Twice he's been burned on the breaking ball by right-handed hitters tonight, and the game is tied 2-2. Olivo's 5th home run of the year.
And that's the second one that's come back. I mean, Navarro was sitting up away, and that ball just came back in, backed up. Much like the pitch to Jose Guillen.
So we have a tie game on our hands. But anyway, we're going to have Longoria.
Bartlett should be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's only leading the major leagues in hitting right now, and he's played a great shortstop.
Driving in big runs.
Yeah, hits with men on base. So Bartlett should be there. Crawford should be there. Carl's had a great year. Those 3 guys, to me, are shoe-ins. Should be. And then Zobrist is having another great year. You know, he's picked up. People said last year, oh, sure, he got big hits, and all that. Well, he's doing it again. And there's a reason he's doing it again.
Yeah, and now he's getting a chance to play every day with the injuries. And I think the more he does play, the more home runs you're going to see, the big numbers, big RBIs.
It's a foul ball, holds the count at 2 strikes. Well, let's take a look. You can see right here, position by position, who's leading. And Longoria leads everybody, and he's the top vote getter at third base. You know, Jeter's going to get a lot of votes for obvious reasons. Oh, look out. That one lined toward the Rays dugout, and a lot of ducking going on right in there. And hey, the trainer might have to have. Yeah, now that's a turnabout right there.
And Longoria helping him out there.
Ron Porterfield had that left shoulder worked on by.
No flinching. Look at it. He's all right.
Longoria.
That's a tough trainer right there.
The trainer doesn't even rub it. There's a base hit. End to left. And Pena has his first hit of the year. He's 1 out of 13 now, just off the disabled list.
Well, the voting, the fans vote the starters, of course. The players will vote 8 pitchers, 5 starters, and 3 relievers. 1 backup player for each position are elected by the coaches, players, and managers. And the manager selection, the balance of it, of the 30 major league teams, and the commissioner's office will fill the roster up to 31 players. And every team has to be represented at that point. So it's in conjunction with the commissioner's office.
Meyer fouls away the first pitch fastball, strike 1.
And then the final vote is after a list of the 31 players for each league is announced. The fans will vote for 1 additional player chosen from a list of 5 players. And that's again chosen by the manager in conjunction with the commissioner's office. So I say it's doable.
Sure, absolutely.
Why not?
0-2. 1 out with a runner aboard. The game is tied 2-2.
Third time on Mitch Meyer that Sonnenstein has gotten an 0-2 count. We got him last time after going up and in a couple of pitches on the ground ball to short. First inning, Meyer dropped an 0-2 pitch down the way to left field for a single.
He's low. It's a ball and 2 strikes. A breaking ball, and so with the first base occupied, the hitter is out on that pitch in the dirt on the breaking ball, and Pena moves up to second base. So he's at second, 2 gone. Live from the Staples Center in LA, Sun Sports bringing you post-game coverage of the NBA Finals. Join the team that has been with the team all season. David Steele and Matt Gukas provide you with live player interviews, post-game press conferences, and in-depth analysis. Live post-game coverage Thursday immediately following the game on Sun Sports. 1-0 the count. Ayaspa, the second baseman. Alberto Pena at second on a wild pitch. Ayaspa's grounded into a double play. Started by the shortstop Renyak and is grounded out to second. The turn, nothing doing. Sonnenstein got Meyer on the curveball, retiring the left-handed hitter on that pitch. This one is down and in, 1-0. Kevin, you're the catcher here in the booth and the manager in the booth, but there are times when it really seems to me that Sonnenstein is bothered by right-handed hitters when he throws the breaking ball.
Well, I just think from my vantage point and my experience with some pitchers that have had that trouble, I mean, he's got such good movement against lefties. It's wide open. That's his throwing side, his right arm, obviously, and there's no fear or problem of painting the outside corner or missing off the outside corner. But with righties, it's his throwing side.
Fly ball toward the line and left and back toward the corner. Crawford makes the catch.
We'll talk about that more.
Then retires the side. A home run by Olivo ties it. They leave a man at second. We go to the home half of the 5th, tied 2-2. These very tickets, $250,000 Mustang money tickets, are on sale now through July 11th. You can register your non-winning tickets through the 11th of June for a second chance to win great prizes that include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, the ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway to see the Citrus Series at the end of June, or $100 gas cards. Visit flaflorida.com for details. You get a second chance. If you don't win the first time, you get another chance. How many of us can say that?
Not enough.
That's right. Reed Brignac leads off, and the pitch is a strike. It's 1-1. Brignac, Upton, and Crawford here for the Rays in this tie game as they face Kyle Davies. Zobrist hit a 2-run homer to give the Rays a 2-1 lead, but Miguel Olivo hit one out in the top of the fifth, hit a breaking ball out, as did Jose Guillen back in the second, and that brought up the discussion about Sonnenstein throwing the breaking ball to right-handed hitters, and it just seems to me that that guy in that right-handed hitter's batter's box presents a challenge to him, because that breaking ball to left-handed hitters is very good and it's effective.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a right-hander coming into a lefty, or even fading a two-seamer away or a changeup away, like even Davies here. You know, you got all kind of margin for error out there, because if you make a mistake fading away, it's no problem. Keep the guys off balance. From what I've seen sometimes with right-handers that I've caught over the years, and Andy as well. Take that.
Ball 4. Brignac draws a walk to lead it off.
Is that you get to that release point, you see the hitter there, and you go, oh, and you kind of guide it, and you get on top of that slider, that cutter, and it backs up when you get so far on top of it that it actually backs up, and the hitter doesn't have any fear because he knows you don't want to hit him. And so he's locked in on one location. He's looking out over the plate and down and away. And when it backs up, it's just a reaction. Those home runs that you just saw, Olivo, and then those are just reaction. They're not sitting on that pitch. They're sitting on location, and they're reacting to a hanging breaking ball that backs up. That's why you got to throw some two-seamers in there or some four-seamers and say, hey, take one of these.
Jay Upton bunts, foul right back over the screen. That's a strike.
Because they have to. You got to get the edge back as a pitcher and say, you know what, this guy will or won't throw inside, up, and in. And if he does, he won't double it up, because we know he's going to throw breaking balls to us away, the right-handers. And we're going to spit on anything in because he won't do it. And if he does, it's way in off the plate. So they're looking for one location. I think that's why Ben Francisco's had success, and I think that's why right-handers, period, have had success this year.
Move to first. Brignac is back in.
We used to do drills with guys that would have problems. I mean, we'd actually have stick figures with dummies up there and make guys learn how to pitch inside off the plate, righty to righty or lefty to lefty. But for that reason, and say, hey, you know, you got to go in there, and if you hit him, you hit him, and you learn, hey, I can pitch in there without hitting the guy. But you can't guide it. You got to let it go.
1-1, the count to Upton. Jay's been on twice with a walk and a single. Two balls and a strike now. Crawford on deck.
You like to get that run right back. I mean, you get the 2-run homer by Ben. You gave one back. You like to get one or two right back here.
There goes Brignac, a pitch in, and the throw is a good one, and he is out. Brignac caught trying to steal. So Olivo with his strong arm, and he made an accurate throw.
Yeah. You know, Davies gets the ball to the plate pretty quickly. There's a good transfer right there. It went to his glove side. He got the ball back to his bare hand quickly and kept his alignment going towards second base. Olivo did, and threw a strike down there. He's got a rifle for an arm anyway. You know, it's funny. He's quicker without the pitch out than with the pitch out. And that's true with a lot of catchers.
I think both of them were. I take
because
Davies and O'Leary.
Well, what happens when you guess right on a pitch out, or your manager calls it, or even if you call it, you think, well, I got it, he's going, so I'll take my time, and that's what you don't do your mechanics the same. You're actually slower. I always used to tell my catchers when I was teaching, do them just as quick, even though you guessed right, do them just as quick, and get through the ball and have the good glove to hand transfer. And throw a strike down there. But when you're behind the plate, calling pitches and doing it, you're just reacting. And you react quickly.
One out. Base is empty. 3-2 the count to Upton. BJ pops it up. Short left. Pena's out from shortstop. And that'll be out number 2. Base is empty. Well, the Rays have lost a couple of base runners tonight. Crawford thrown out at third and Brignac at second here in the 5th inning. You know, in this game alone, there have been more runners caught stealing than there were all year long with Davies on the mound. There's only 1 caught stealing with him on the mound last year and 8 stolen bases.
Well, Olive was one of the better throwers in the league, too. For quick, is throwing about 40%, which is well above average in Major League Baseball. 29-30% is average.
1-0 pitch, lifted back into center. Meyer is there, makes the catch, and the Rays are finished. Leadoff Walker caught stealing, nobody left, through 5, 2-2 tie.
Put pressure on the defenses, and Joe wants us to run every time we get a chance, and you have a manager like that who gives you the green light regardless. Makes it a little bit easier, out there on the base pass.
It's our Geico quote of the night, brought to you by Geico by way of B.J. Upton. Rays have lost a couple of base runners on the bases tonight, but you can be sure that will not slow them down. Billy Butler fouls off the pitch. 2 strikes to count. Butler, Jacobs, and Guillen. And that's one thing BJ said. These guys know that they have the encouragement and most of the time the green light from their manager, Joe Madden. Ground ball to short. Picked up by Brignac. Reeves throw to first in time to get Butler. 1 out in the 6th.
I like Brignac at shortstop, the way he's playing. He's got a nice quick release, good hands.
Grant Balfour up the right side.
And not a high pitch count for Andy. I mean, he starts this inning at 78, 53 for strikes. But Joe Madden knows that it's about the time when, where Andy kind of sort of hits the wall a little bit. Wants to make sure he's got somebody to face some of these righties and then get on base.
Breaking ball. I guess that went around the plate. Pretty close pitch. The curveball there. 1-0 the count to Jacobs.
Andy's pitched a good game, and there's nothing wrong with his stuff at all. He's got good stuff, good movement.
It's popped up, foul ball. That might stay playable. Ibar over near the dugout. He's got it. That'll be out number 2. Popper came back a little bit for Ibar and the Rays. So 2 quick outs in the 6th inning.
Here's the guy with 83 pitches, 57 for strikes. This is an interesting sequence here. I want to see what Andy does. Now, Guillen homered to left on a breaking ball, flew out to pretty deep center in the 4th. Really hasn't shown anything inside to especially Jose Guillen.
And there's a strike. Started him with a fastball. Fly ball to right field. Joyce will go back to the track, but he's going to have room. Makes the catch as Sonnenstein kept the ball away from him. We go to the bottom of the 6th, tied 2-2.
Longoria as the DH again today. It's his 2nd straight game and his 3rd consecutive day off from third base with the off day yesterday. And Evans said he's already asked Joe Madden if he can play 3rd again tomorrow. He's had that lingering soreness, guys, in his right arm. Nothing major. Joe just wanted to get him off the field for a couple of days. But Longoria says he doesn't know what to do as a DH. He kind of rides the bikes to say loose, watches the game, doesn't go hit at all. Since he's kind of lost as a designated hitter, he'd rather be out there on defense as well. Back to you.
Well, the Rays come in to hit in the bottom of the 6th. He knows what to do when he's in the batter's box, that's for sure.
It's the downtime in between. It's driving him crazy.
Longoria, Pena, and Ibar. There's a ground ball to short. Tian with the pickup. His throw is low, but it's scooped by Butler. And that's the first out here in the 6th. Longoria, Todd mentioned he just had a little tender elbow, but he's I'm not sure if he's favoring something walking back there or not, but let's take a look here. Look at that.
The back of the look like the hamstring there, left hamstring.
Carlos Pena takes a strike. Well, let's hope that that's nothing serious.
Well, that's why you ride the bike in between innings when you're DHing, so you can stay loose, and that's what he's been doing.
One and one. Let's hope that he just had a little catch in there, and that's it. But nothing more.
That's the last thing this ball club needs is something to happen to Evan Longoria, along with all the other injuries they've already got.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Kansas City with the shift on for Pena, and he takes strike 3. Carlos out on strikes for the 3rd time. Pretty well located fastball there. You can get in on the 09 Rays action with exclusive on-field seating with your group of 50 or more at the Checkers Bullpen Cafe. Available dates are filling up fast. Act now to make your private group reservations behind the Rays bullpen. Call 727-825-3406. Billy Ibar takes a pitch down. It's 1-0. 2-0 the count.
Davies has good stuff. I mean, he's really mixed speeds pretty well. And he's giving Carlos Pena a tough time. Carlos is looking for a curveball to take that fastball for 3 right there. That's what Carlos does, though. He'll sit on a pitch even with 2 strikes. You can tell by the way he took that. He was looking for off speed, and rightfully so. And Davies outguessed him this time because he threw a fastball.
Trio. He takes it for a strike. Now 3-1, 2 outs, bases empty, and ball 4. 2 out pass. Second time Ibar has walked. 7 strikeouts and 5 walks given up by Davies. Ben Zobrist hit the home run in the 4th inning for Alltel Wireless. There's a circle for everyone. Call 5, 10, or 20. 3 numbers on any network with My Circle exclusively from Alltel. Zobrist struck out looking on a changeup in the 2nd, hit the home run in the 4th inning. So he's 1 for 2. Levo had a conversation with Davies, and now more time will be taken. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, goes to the mound. Horatio Ramirez, one of 3 lefties Kansas City has in its bullpen. Ramirez starts to loosen. There he is.
Yeah, they got him up in a hurry, too. There was a meeting at the mound before McClure got out there. Oliva went out there to give him some time, and now McClure's out there.
I mean, almost all of a sudden they realized he had 110 pitches.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 98 pitches before this inning anyway, and they had nobody up. I looked down there when Ibar came. I said they had nobody up. I said, I guess Trey Hillman's from the old school. He's not worried about pitch count. But he will face Ben Zobrist for the 3rd time tonight. Kyle Davies.
Saw there a moment ago. It'll be Jeff Neiman and Brian Bannister tomorrow on Fox Sports Florida. Here's Ben Zobrist. He starts him with a breaking ball. Maybe they just went out and said, you don't throw him any fastball.
Especially in. Don't try to trick him inside. There's a changeup right now.
And he throws it for a strike. 1-1. Two outs. Ibar at first, drawing the 2-out walk. Kyle Davies missed down and in. Another breaking ball. So 2 curveballs and a changeup for a strike. It's 2-1. Away with that one. 3-1. They're pitching him with respect.
Curve change, 113 pitches. 62 strikes, and with Matt Joyce on deck, this will be Kyle Davies' last hitter.
And he threw him a fastball, but low. So he gives up the walk. Back-to-back bases on balls. 2 men out. Trey Hillman out to make the pitching change. That's going to be it for Kyle Davies, and we'll be back in a moment. This 2-2 ball game. Jose Guillen hit the home run in the second inning off a breaking ball that opened the scoring. In the fourth, it was Ben Zobrist turning this one around. A 2-run homer made it 2-1, and then in the fifth, another breaking ball, and Miguel Olivo hit it out to tie the game. We are tied 2-2 as we go in here to the bottom of the sixth. 2 men on, 2 men out. A walk to Ibar, a walk to Zobrist. Davies is out, and Horacio Ramirez makes the appearance. Yeah, 325 batting average against is the first thing that stands out to me in 18 and a third innings, and the earned run average over 7. And I like that Matt Joyce is staying in there in this situation against the lefty, because Ramirez, a lot of times with that changeup, is more effective against righties anyway. First pitch is fouled back and out of play. He opens the at bat with a fastball. 1 strike. Joyce has singled and struck out tonight. He struck out against a Kyle Davies changeup. I think it's too early anyway in the 6th inning to start unloading your bench, because you got Ron Mayhay later in the game, and you may want to do that if the situation dictates. Down 1-1. Ramirez doesn't have the kind of stuff, that hard breaking ball, that hard slider that'll blow you away. Remember, this guy was a starter with the Braves when he first came to the big leagues, and he was more of a control guy with a good changeup. Flipped up his breaking ball. He won 12 games one year in Atlanta. Well, he did have a good changeup. I haven't seen him in a while myself, but he did have a really good changeup that was effective against righties. There's a high fly ball down the right field side. It's going to be foul and wind up out of play. Count is 1-2. Joyce rejoined the club here and then hit the home run Sunday in the Minnesota series. Matt connecting in the 5th inning of that game, hitting his 2nd home run of the year, connecting off Nick Blackburn. Hit one off Daisuke Matsuzaka up in Boston. So his first 2 hits as a Ray were home runs. And a fly ball toward left center field. That's going to be in there and go all the way to the wall. Ibar scores. Zobrist on his way to the plate, and Matt Joyce doubles into left center field to give the Rays a 4-2 lead. A big hit for the young outfielder there against the lefty. That's a great job of hitting right there. He got out in front of the one breaking ball that he almost hit out of the ballpark. Gets another one, and it's like I said, it's not a real hard breaking ball to a lefty. Matt just does all the execution right there, stays with it, and goes the other way. And
shoots it in the gap to left center field. That's a hanging breaking ball, and it's going to get hit in the big league. That's a great piece of hitting by Matt Joyce. Good adjustment.
So he picks up his first double in a Rays uniform. 2 for 3 tonight, driving in 2 runs with that 2-base hit. Here's Deoner Navarro. Pitch is a strike. This developed with 2 outs on a walk to Ibar and then a walk to Zobrist.
Well, that's got to make Matt Joyce feel something special here, being at home basically also. And first couple of games as a Ray in this ballpark. He's homered. Now a big 2-run double. Homer the other day against the Twins.
Too low. Blocked by Olivo. It's 1-1.
But going back, I like that Joe Madden let him hit. That's why I said that before he came up for the reasons we talked about. Ramirez is not a lights-out guy against lefties. And so what if he is? Matt Joyce, it's the 6th inning. Let him swing the bat and find something out. And I think Joe just found something out that he likes right there.
Matt out of Armwood High School here.
It's not always about righty-lefty matchups.
Ground ball headed to shortstop. Pena up with it. His throw to first is in time. But the Rays score 2 on the double by Joyce. They leave a man and do 6. It's 4-2 Tampa Bay. Field as he returned to his position. Our checkers double of the game. The 2-run shot into left center field by Matt to drive in Willie Ibar and Ben Zobrist and give the Rays a 4-2 lead. That's our checkers double of the game. So through 6, the Rays lead 4-2. On to the 7th with Andy Sonnenstein on the mound, and Martian will lead it off. He 0 for 2, a ground ball to second and a ground ball to shortstop.
Most important inning now for Andy Sonnenstein. You got the lead once again a second time. You got to come right back and keep the momentum on your side. Put a 0 up there.
Tian fouled the fastball back. He's out over the plate a bit. 1-1. Tian has hit 6 home runs this year, hitting .285. Attempted foul. He's been with this Kansas City club, Tian, through the last 4 opening days, and he has started at 4 different positions in 4 different years on opening day. He's out on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Andy Sonnenstein. Fans, if you missed tonight's Meet Joe Dillon, that featured during our Rays live pregame show, you can check it out tomorrow on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida's Facebook page for frequent updates, exclusive sneak peeks, and behind-the-scene views. Find us on Facebook by searching Sun Sports / Fox Sports Florida. Pitch outside to DeJesus.
I just wanted to mention that last pitch, the strike at the tee, and you know how it ran away from the lefty right there? He can do the same thing to righties, run it in to righties and tie righties up with that same type of two-seam action. Great pitch.
Popper short left. Crawford coming in. He's there and makes the catch. 2 out. Boy, that's a great point. We'll take another look at that pitch.
Well, here's the pitch. Watch the run on this pitch. I mean, this is what he's got to do against righties. This thing just ran. Look at that movement. I mean, if you could throw that on righties, and he can, I mean, he's going to be effective against righties. And his job is done tonight, but that was a nice performance. But I think you take a lot out of this game for Andy Sonnenstein, and next start you go, okay, against righties, you know what, I'm going to take a few pitches. I can do something like that.
Well, he's going to get a nice hand as he leaves here. 6 2/3. Joe Mann's going to make a pitching change. Back after this. Six 2/3, allowing 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts and no walks. 91 pitches tonight for Andy.
Yeah, the no walks, very, very important. Did give up a couple of solo home runs, but that's a real solid performance tonight for Andy Sonnenstein.
Red Balfour throws the first pitch strike to Miguel Oliva. Starting Oliva with a strike, a fastball. 1-1.
You know, and Joe Madden's thinking is, you know what, Andy did his job, 6 2/3. I'm going to give my reliever Balfour a chance with a 2-run lead. Why would I wait one more hitter just in case, you know, the righty gets on here or gets one out of the ballpark? He's going to hit one out. He's going to hit one out off the 94, 95. Balfour.
Well, he was 2 for 2 tonight against Sonnenstein with that home run. See Balfour's numbers.
Well, that's the manager's thinking. You know, Grant, obviously, he can strike you out. 1 strikeout per inning, 22 punch-outs in 23 innings.
Here he goes to 2-2.
There you go, 95. Now you got to make a put-away pitch right here, 2-2.
And he got him with a slider that bounces away, and Oliva's going to reach. So Oliva strikes out on a slider, and it's going to be ruled a wild pitch, and that's too bad.
Well, this is a slider that really should have been and could have been blocked. That's a good pitch by Bal, and he's got to be able to do that and bounce that mix and know that your catcher can block it for you. Let's take a look. It's a slider. It's down, no shift, wrong knee down. The right knee should be down first, and no cover up with the right hand. I mean, there's 3 things wrong there. The shift was late. If you do shift, you got to go down the right knee. And second of all, you cover it up by bringing your right hand in to your glove side so you can knock the ball back towards center.
And the concern about that is that Balfour is a guy, as we know, can throw hard, but he really has to have confidence when he throws the slider, not only in himself but in the receiving end of that.
And you got to anticipate that he's going to throw it in the dirt 2-2 and that the hitter might swing. You block that just as if there's a runner at third base.
It's a strike, and it's 1-1 now. Because if he doesn't have confidence that he can throw that pitch, and the slider's a pitch he needs to have in his mix.
Absolutely.
Because I don't care how hard you throw, if you just throw fastballs, it's a problem eventually. And Grant has a great arm, and that slider's a big pitch for him.
He's got the count again here now. I mean, Nobby's got to make an adjustment now. Okay, he didn't do it on that one. If he does call the slider, he's got to block this and be ready for this, so Grant can bounce it if he wants, if he throws it, as if a runner was at third base and the game was on the line. That's the mentality you have to have defensively.
Foul out of play. Pena just trying to stay alive. Got a piece of it to foul it.
And you know what, too? You say, you go out and say, hey, you know what? I didn't block that one. You throw it again. You bounce it. I'll block it. We're going to strike this guy out. You don't have to keep throwing him fastball. That's what pitchers want to hear. You know, there's a little disagreement here on what who wants what. Grant shook him off a couple of times here. We'll see what the call's going to be. Fastball in.
Strike three call. They got him looking. Pena took the fastball. That'll do it here in the top half of the 7th inning. Balfour actually gets a couple strikeouts in a third of an inning. 4-2 Tampa Bay. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Rays have a 4-2 lead, and they're coming in to hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. Reed Brignac leads off against the lefty and fouls one off his foot. That's a strike. Reed 0 for 1. He walked back in the 5th inning. And he's trying to walk this foul ball off here in the 7th.
Played a nice game at shortstop tonight. Made it a couple of fine defensive plays. Nice release. I like his release from shortstop. Quick release with plenty on it. He's got plenty of arm.
Facing Horacio Ramirez. Pitch picks up the corner. 0-2. Matt Joyce with the big hit in this game to break a 2-2 tie in the 6th. And strike 3 called on the outside edge. First out in the 7th. Let's check in with Todd Kalas to get an update on Evan Longoria.
Well, Dwayne, it's always tough to tell with a designated hitter what his status is, but the last I saw, Evan was going into the clubhouse with his shirt untucked, which is never a good sign, and he hasn't come back out to get ready for this inning. They have been working, as you see Longoria run down the line and then kind of grab for that left hamstring there. There has been some extra guys hitting. Could be a late inning situation, but Gabe Gross and Joe Dillon as B.J. Upton sends one down the left field line. He's got extra bases. But both Joe Dillon and Gabe Gross were warming up by hitting in the cage, and then Gabe Kapler was loosening his legs as well. So I'm guessing we're going to find out in a second here whether Longoria is staying in the game, but I don't think he is. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you for that update, Todd. We hope if he does not stay in the game, obviously, the hope is that it's nothing serious. You're always concerned when you have that kind of an injury. So let's hope for the best. Upton has just doubled. He's on for the 3rd time tonight.
And you got to get somebody on the on-deck circle just to help the runner in case there's a base hit here to tell him which way to slide.
Carl Crawford takes the pitch for a strike, and Gabe Gross has moved into the on-deck circle just now for the Rays. Upton with a double down the left field line. And a turn, but nothing doing. Pena breaking in behind Upton. So the Rays have a 2-run lead, trying to add to it. Carl fouls one out of play, and he's down. 2 strikes. Roman Colon, the right-hander, is throwing in the bullpen.
About those numbers, couple of triples and 4 for 5. Talking about matchups, Horacio Ramirez versus Carl Crawford. Believe me,
there, yep.
Believe me, Ramirez knows it. Carl, I'm sure, does too.
And as we mentioned at the outset, Crawford has been better than anybody else in baseball, picking up 2 strike hits. Ground ball to short, a little bit to the left of Pena. Throw to first is close. Well, Carl can, as you know, get down that line, and he was busting it from the outset. Crawford is out short to first, and Upton advances to 3rd.
Yeah, and Pena tried to play the long hop on this when he kind of backed up on it. When he did, he made it that much closer. He does throw a strike over there, but I mean, Carl was in the air with the left leg, and they got him by about a half a step. Boy, when Pena backed up, I thought Carl was going to beat that out, and he almost did.
So now Gabe Gross will be hitting for Longoria. We saw Evan leave back in the 6th inning, and he was favoring the left hamstring. So it's Gross to hit here. High. No ball, no strikes.
Well, you know, one thing that Joe Madden has done all season long, early in the year, in April and even through May, is, you know, he's spotted his starters here and there to get the extra guys some at-bats. And by doing that, these guys have been pretty sharp, whether it be Gabe Gross or Willie Ibar or definitely Ben Zobrist.
Gross lifts the fly ball into left. Jesus back a few steps and makes the catch. Then retires the side. The Rays leave a man at 3rd. On to the 8th, 4-2 Tampa Bay. Hold of the day brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Take a look at the Rays bullpen and the whole situation. Dan Wheeler leading with 7. Brian Shouse has 6. And Grant Balfour in there now with 5. J.P. Howell 4. He's warming up right now. And Joe Nelson with 3. Just as middle relievers keep their teams in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color. There's J.P. down there in the bullpen.
Doing a great job, J.P.
Balfour goes a strike to Mitch Meyer.
It's a nice delivery right there by Balfour. Got over the front leg nicely and went right through the pitch to drive it on the outside corner. And see that one, he fell off. One before, nice and smooth. This one, he tried to get a little bit more, and consequently, you get less.
Now 1-1. Got a couple strikeouts in the 7th. He struck out Olivo, who reached on a wild pitch on the slider. It's fouled. It's 1-2. And then he struck out Tony Pena Jr. on a fastball to end it. Swing and a miss. Foul tip strikeout. Meyer is out of there. Well, it's 3 strikeouts for Balfour.
On 3 of those 4 pitches, he's able to repeat his delivery very well and hit his spot right there. Only one did he fall off and try to get a little bit more. And when you do that, his arm actually was underneath and slows down. But, 3 of those 4 pitches were very good mechanics. That's a good sign.
Alberto Calaspo. It's a fly ball to center. B.J. Upton going back. That ball carried. Boy, he got some carry on that one. B.J. had to go all the way to the warning track. I really didn't think he hit the ball that well when he made contact. B.J. wound up a couple steps back on the track.
Yeah, B.J. saying the same thing you just said, Dwayne. He goes, wow. That ball took off. But he glides to the ball and stayed with it. Found the wall and looked back up and made the play. I think it's because Balfour supplied the power.
I think you're right. Something did.
That was a nice fluid swing by Gallaspo, but he was throwing 94, 95.
Butler takes it up. 1 ball, no strikes. All game in the 8th. Foul ball back on the fastball. Sonnenstein worked 6 2/3. Gave up 2 runs, 6 hits. Kansas City 2 runs, 6 hits tonight. The Rays 4 runs, 5 hits. Two-one right now.
See, Grant wanted the slider the whole time. That's why you saw the hesitation there twice, and then he threw a slider, but it was up and out of the zone. He's got to be able to throw that thing down in the dirt like we're talking about.
Foul ball. That one up the right side, out of play. And it's 2-2. Balfour came into the game Saturday against Minnesota. Entered in the 6th inning, and 20 of his first 24 pitches he threw for strikes in that game. He fouled it back, and he really threw the ball, I think, as well Saturday as we've seen him all year.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and I'm just seeing the last few outings, and especially on Saturday to now, just real solid mechanics, able to get over the front leg.
Cap down to third, to the slider. High bars throw to Pena in time to retire Butler. 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th coming. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Kansas City. This week's on Fox Saturday Baseball. Ryan Howard and the Phillies take on Andre Ethier and the Dodgers in a rematch of last year's NLCS. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. That is Roman Colon. Third pitcher of the night for Kansas City, making his third appearance.
Yeah, a couple of games. No earned run average yet. Only 2 in the third innings.
Davies worked 5 2/3. Ramirez an inning and a third. Now Colon to face Carlos Pena. Pena takes it inside. 1 ball, no strikes. And on our Firestone leaderboard, check out home runs in the American League, where Carlos Pena leads. He has 17. Mark Teixeira of the Yankees 16, and Jason Bay of the Red Sox 15. It's 1-1 now. Nelson Cruz with Texas back this year and having a great season. 14 home runs. Right now the Yankees have scored 7 in the 4th. Bat in the bottom of the 6th, and they lead the Texas Rangers 12-3. Oops, look out. That one down around his feet, and I don't know how it missed his feet.
Good dancer.
Yeah, Pena looked like Bobby Ramos with those dance moves.
Yes, he did. Wow. Yeah, that's all they need is somebody to get hit by a pitch or hitting the ankle or hitting the shin.
I think they got Charlie Relaford back there. Fortunately, he was well protected. Two and two.
They have really pitched Pena tough tonight. When they do go in, they go in off the plate with the fastballs, and they set up the off-speed away.
Full count now.
One thing the Rays did do tonight, Davies was throwing well, but they did work the count enough to knock him out in the 6th inning. They had 6 walks given up. That's the one good thing. I mean, he only gave up 3 hits, but 6 walks.
This pitch is fouled straight back into the upper deck. 3-2 fastball from Colon in the mid-90s. Well, you're right. 114 pitches, 6 walks.
Made him get into that bullpen.
And a lot of his strikeouts came on full count pitches, too.
That's right. Especially to Carlos Pena, who's got another full count.
And he walks this time. Keeps the pitch low. The Rays have drawn 7 walks. In fact, the Rays continue to lead the American League in walks. And it's no coincidence that they lead the league in walks and runs scored.
Well, and here's Willie Ibar, and we talked about him in the open tonight before the game, how he works the count. That's one of the things he does, and he worked 2 walks, and both times he's walked, he scored.
Yeah, the Rays, 4 runs have been scored by Ibar and Zobrist. Ibar up there right now, and Zobrist due next. 1-0 the count. Let's quickly check in with Todd, get another update on Evan Longoria.
All right, Dwayne, direct from the training staff. Evan has tightness in his left hamstring. Tightness left hamstring, and he is day-to-day, guys.
Well, tightness, probably the way he left the game, tightness the best thing, and you get the feeling that he leaves the game as more of a precautionary move. At least that's what you hope.
You hope so.
Point.
Yeah, get him out of there now, and he is out of there, of course. It looked like just the last few strides, it looked like that's when he grabbed the left hamstring and winced after he hit the bag.
It's low, blocked by Olivo. 2-1 now.
Yeah, just take your time, Evan. rush back out there. Early June, you want him for the long haul. You don't want that thing aggravating him off and on all season.
Hopper, short love. DeJesus comes in and makes the catch. It's the first out with a runner at first base, and Ben Zobrist will bat. Ron Mahay, the lefty, boosting.
That was my center fielder in '95, by the way.
How about that? Huh? And as center fielders go, he's been a pretty good pitcher.
That's right.
Swing and a miss. Zobrist missed a fastball up. Cologne with a pretty good fastball. Strike around the knees, 0-2.
Yeah, like Ben has just really good hitting mechanics, really solid, quiet at the plate, good flex of the lead arm, short to the ball. His results are because of his setup, and obviously he reads the ball well, but he's got excellent hitting mechanics.
Chops it to the right side. Velasco goes to Pena, one back to first, not in time. As Zobrist hustling down the line, beat the throw, then he keeps the inning going. He's at first with 2 outs. Now Matt Joyce is due up.
Yeah, good turn by Pena, but Ben was hustling down the line right away to try to break that up, and just did.
Joyce 2 for 3. Came up with the big double in the 6th inning. Gave the Rays the lead when he chased home Ibar and Zobrist. Then back in at first. Davies, Ramirez, now Cologne. There goes a runner, and he stops, and the pitch is a strike. Cologne's been around. He was originally signed by the Braves. He'll be 30 years old this year. He spent some time briefly with the Braves in the big leagues, spanned a couple of years, and then for the Tigers. Now Kansas City.
I don't see Ben going right here because you got a guy that can hit one out of the ballpark, and you got a good pitch out count 0-1, and you got a guy that has a rifle for an arm. So this combination is not a good time to go.
A step back by Cologne.
Might as well make him think about it. That's a good thing.
Well, they're doing that. Yes, they are.
But I think if you go too, you take the bat out of Matt Joyce's hands, because then they can put him on if they want to.
There goes and stops. Pitch is high.
See, those are just good fakes by Ben Zobrist. That's really all that is. Although I'll say that, and then there he goes.
Well, of course.
But until you get 2 strikes, I let Matt try to hit one out of here. Or off the wall.
1-1. Next one bouncing away from Olivo. And the Rays get Zobrist down to second base on a wild pitch. Colon throws a splitter, and that might have been it right there that resulted in a wild pitch. Two outs, and the Rays have a runner in scoring position. Each time Colon would look back there, he'd just take another half step to widen his lead with nobody really holding him on. Everybody deep on the infield.
Ben's got to love that he's getting the B.J. Upton treatment, really, and Carl Crawford treatment. The inside move right there.
There's a drive! High and deep and gone! Matt Joyce has just hit one out. He takes a 2-1 pitch and rifles it into the seats in right center field. That will give the Rays a 6-2 lead. Joyce hitting his third home run for the Rays. That's his third hit tonight.
He gets a fastball. They were too worried about Ben Zobrist, and look at this swing by Matt Joyce. What a beauty. Down and through it. Short stride. I just think Al Kaline was right.
Yeah, I do too. I'll tell you. He comes here on pretty high recommendation. I remember talking with Kaline last year in Detroit about him, and Al loved him. Navarro takes a pitch, and that's in there for a strike. And boy, is he living up to the confidence Al Kaline had in him, and the Rays for that matter.
Well, that's why Ben wasn't going anywhere. He was just making Colon make a mistake, and I think he helped. They worried too much about Ben Zobrist and not enough about a guy that hit 25 home runs last year between the minor leagues and the big leagues.
It's a big night for Matt Joyce, the young man out of Armwood High School.
Boy, that got out in a hurry too, didn't it?
This one bouncing into the dugout. Count still 2 strikes. That sounds good off his bat. They're launched, really.
Well, he's got big-time big league power. Those aren't cheap home runs. All the ones he's hit, the 3 he's hit in the big leagues.
A broken bat and a roller out to second. Throw to first, retires the side, but the Rays come up with a couple runs on one swing of the bat. The home run from Matt Joyce. We go to the ninth, 6-2 Tampa Bay. He's 3 for 4 at the plate tonight with 4 runs batted in, a single, a double, and a home run. He's making his presence felt here in the lineup in right field. And we go to the 9th. The Rays now lead 6-2. J.P. Howell comes in for the Rays.
Yeah, look at this right here. 31 strikeouts, 9 walks in 25 2/3 innings. That's excellent. 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. More strikeouts than innings pitched, and the league's only hitting .213 against JP.
Mike Jacobs leads off. First pitch comes back for a strike. His fastball. Jacobs 0 for 3. Guillen next, and then Tian. 2.
You know, Charlie Relaford's done a pretty good job calling balls and strikes. He's been consistent, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Not just saying for the Rays. He did it for Davies, too. He called some 3-2 breaking balls for strikes. But that should be a strike, you know? That's how you keep the game moving.
Ground ball to second. Zobrist has it. He'll throw to first in time. 1 away.
That job that Balfour did, he got his 5 men. He shouldn't have had to face 5, but he did. And he ended up striking out 3 of them. And I like his mechanics. We talked about that in the postgame. He got over the front leg. It's really important. He's driving the ball down now.
Well, this has been what we talked about earlier, and I think what Joe Madden had talked about, facing these injuries. The Rays need to get pitching and defense, and tonight they got 6 2/3 out of their starting pitcher, Andy Sonnenstein. Gave them a good start. 2 runs, 6 hits. Balfour threw the ball well again tonight. Now J.P. Howell out there. 1-1 to count.
Well, and you get guys stepping up with all these injuries, too. I mean, Matt Joyce comes up from the minor leagues, and right away he's made a difference. And we talked about Ibar and Zobrist before the game started.
And I'm with you. Zobrist made a pest of himself on the bases and divided the concentration, and Joyce just rocketed that ball out of here. Zobrist has scored 3 of the 6 runs tonight. There's a couple of RBIs, and Joyce has 4 runs back.
It's interesting because the first pitch to Joyce in that sequence was a fastball, the same one that he hit, and he took it for a strike. And I think Kansas City's thinking, well, he must be sitting off speed here. And they're trying to sneak a fastball by him with 2 strikes, and it didn't work out for him.
Strike 3 call. Guillen out of there. So 2 up, 2 down in the 9th inning as the Rays try to finish this one off and take the first game of the series.
Well, JP's a strike thrower, and he throws that curve and changeup for strikes, and he can throw that fastball at 85 right there, and it looks like it's 95 to the hitter.
There's Mark Tian. The pitch is a strike. Tian 0 for 3. Grounded to second, grounded to short, struck out his last time. And now the count is 0-2. Two strikes the count. He's out of there, wave and a miss. Now they will flip it down to first, and this one belongs to the Rays. Howell strikes out 10, and the Rays have taken the first game of the series 6-2. The 1-2-3 9th inning. Andy Sonnenstein, who worked the front 6 2/3, will pick up his 4th win of the year. He's now 4 and 5.